Sean, how are you doing today?
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks. Thanks for giving us the time to talk about Americonned. And I gotta say, welcome to Reel In Films. And this film, from the start to finish, it it got me, how would I say, emotional the whole run. Seeing how the economy has affected so many families, and not only in the US, I would say worldwide, but this film brings such an amazing message. So, Sean, what inspired you to bring these stories to all of us here? Let it be if they rent it or buy it online or see it in a streaming service.
Yeah, well, I come from an immigrant family that came from Ireland, uh, kind of from a subsistence farm, um, where my grandfather's father died when he was young. So they grew up in abject poverty. He never had enough to eat, didn't have a pair of shoes till he came to this country, or right before he came to the country. And then he worked really hard and had multiple jobs at different times, but was able to, finally get into a union and ascend to the middle class. And that path to the middle class was so important for so many people in this country. And it really, we built the greatest middle class in the world. Unfortunately, that path is eroded, and so has the middle class. And some people say that we've fallen from number one, we're free falling through number 12. It depends on which study you look at. But we've fallen a long way, either no matter how you frame it. And then, we hit the financial collapse in 09, 10, and we all got screwed and the banks got bailed out. And I was, producer Dave Pedersen and Jeff Mann came to me with this idea. And I was like, we have to make this film, but we have to make it an emotional film about real people that are suffering, not just about experts talking.
Now, going ahead in that choice, because I did notice that you do have certain experts talking throughout the film, but the main line is the stories that are around what's going on. Let it be the single mothers, let it be the workers from Amazon. Was it your choice to just make it more as a personal aspect for the people than just having some guy or some woman on a suit just talking about, hey, these are the numbers for this year and this is what's going on in the government? Was it your choice to make it a little bit much more personal?
Yeah, I wouldn't have made the film unless it was about the people. Uh, I grew up in a single mother household, for the first 8 years of my life, and and Dave, who is the producer on one of the producers on the film, also grew up in a single mother household, and Lenny Manfredi, who was a producer on that, also did it for a time as well. So. It's hard in those circumstances, um, and you know to go around the country and meet hundreds and hundreds of people, and to get to see how hard they work and how hard they try and how they're not making it. It's heartbreaking, um, and I think that those stories need to be told. Once you tell those stories, you can see what those numbers really mean. If we just say, 45% of all adults between 18 and 65 make 45% make about $10.35 an hour medium, wage. That's like, whoa, what? But then if you actually see the people trying to survive on that and how it affects their children, it's brutal.
No, no. I one of the reasons why I mentioned to you that I took the film to heart is because I was as well single mother household, and my mother was working two, three jobs just to make ends in our bills or in our lifestyle. And I'm talking about me myself that I live in Puerto Rico, so two different places, right? And seeing that it's happening as well in the states, it's you take it to heart. How was it working with your producer when you were sitting down and making these choices on how the film should look like? I imagine that probably there was differences, but how was it working with him?
Well, several different producers and myself. There were good days, bad days. We argued a lot about different, what to include, what not to include, how to weave the stories. We had to cut out a lot. We could have made a series. But we didn't have the resources to make a series.
Okay.
So when you're cutting an hour out of the film or an hour and a half out of the film, a lot of golden things that you become very attached to, you have to throw away, and it's very hard to do that. But I think we did a good job, um, doing that. And Christopher Seward helped. He was one of the writers on the lead writer on it. Helped to interweave all the stories, and so we get the history, we get the why, the experts, and then we get the emotion from the people, and then the hope from the activists who do stand up and fight back and win.
No, yeah. One of the things that caught my attention is that there's one of the, I would say, experts says starts talking about numbers, and then he goes ahead and makes a very interesting comment saying that these numbers are today, but when this film comes out, the numbers might be different. How shockingly, how do you feel knowing that today these numbers could be much more higher?
Yeah, so we have AI and robotics is here, and if we do not handle that well, if we do not make society fairer, as um, we say in the film, Kurt Anderson says in the film, we're in trouble. The we're looking at 47% of all American jobs are at high risk of being eliminated by the end of the decade. I just read 3 weeks ago that the CEO of IBM proudly stated that he will eliminate every job, every human job possible by the end of the year that can be replaced by AI.
I got I got a question for you, Sean. What
Yep.
would be your outtake in regards to AI? Due to the fact that nowadays, a lot of people are noticing that they're even releasing music from different artists using AI. What is your personal opinion of AI and the human aspect of, like, for instance, an example, me myself interviewing right now, and then let's say that from here in a decade, instead of myself, I would have like a voice doing the interview instead of myself.
I think that anytime we have when we lose the human connection between one human and another, and the emotional connection, or that, it's very sad. And I think we're seeing that already with our cell phones, that people are always like this. It's going to get much worse. And the loneliness, and the emotional destruction that that's going to, and the emotional manipulation that could happen with AI. It's very dangerous. And then I'm also like copyright. It's basically the AI isn't making this stuff up. It's going around and stealing all the other artists' work, right? And like mixing them up so you can't really tell. But it's not making any art, right? It's stealing. So that's going to have to all be worked out. And, I think it will be fair or will not be fair, and I think we have to demand that it has to be fair.
No, I completely agree with you and your statement. So, Sean, I wanted to ask, do you think that Americon should be presented in like economics courses due to the fact that one of the bases of the film is talking about the economics from if I'm not mistaken, from the 70s to the 60s to now, and there's it goes piece by piece on how the economics have been affected by that time to now. Do you think that Americon should be um, a crucial part to be part of like economics course, or to present it to high schoolers in like about those schoolers that are about to go to college?
Yeah, so more importantly, do I think I've been approached by several professors to do that, to do just that on the college level anyway. I mean, I think it should be the high school level as well. Um, because once you see this film, you can't unsee it. And once you're told what really happened, um, and this is very well researched. This is not conspiracy theory stuff. This is all fact checked, backed up. If the facts didn't work out, we got rid of it. So yeah, I think it's gonna be well received on the college level, and I would love it if it was in the high school level as well.
No, I completely agree. I think that nowadays, we can if we can go ahead and show uh, the youth from this generation, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. Show them in early time. It could be better for a better future. So, Sean, I did notice as well that on your credits you have Americonned and you have a TV series. Is there anything else that you are currently working on, or that you are about to release?
Not about to release, but certainly, democracy is a very important thing to me, and so that's probably going to be my next project, the struggle for democracy, um, and not just in America, but all over the world. We're seeing this a shift to authoritarianism, and it could be authoritarianism with capitalism, right? People get confused with capitalism and democracy. One's an economic system, one's a political system. Democracy is the key. The economic systems need to be blended to which works best for like this year for these people. And we get conflated. I think it's probably on purpose that people think about um, capitalism as it is democracy, and it is not.
What were you part of like the crew that were filming as well these shots of like the families and those key moments of the film? Were you part of like the filming crew as well?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a lot of us, but especially when COVID hit. I had a camera on my shoulder the whole time, so I'm a hands-on director. I'm a director shooter. So a lot of the film, it was our small little crew driving 32,000 miles crisscrossing the United States and shot in 23 states. Yeah, so sometimes sleeping in the car, all sorts of crazy stories I can talk for hours about.
Do you have any like favorite moment while you were filming while you were filming with your crew?
Favorite moment. Yeah, when Chris Smalls won. We didn't know if they were gonna win or not. Now I was getting like texts from inside, 'cause, I'm like friends with them. I followed them throughout the whole experience from, just after the beginning of their experience. Um, so we didn't know if they were gonna win or not. And I was very hopeful, but we weren't sure. He'd go up against the richest, most powerful man in the world, and they beat him. They spent $25 million to defeat them, and they won. So that was yeah. I mean, I get goosebumps just talking about it.
No, no, I
Mhm.
imagine like when I kept researching more when I finished it, and I was like, oh wow, they won. Yes, that's how it has to be. So, Sean, do you have any like passion projects that you would like to work on the future besides the one that you just mentioned a few moments ago?
Sure, I have some scripts that I've written, that that'll probably be just after the next documentary. Um, yeah, the set in 1800s Ireland, kind of family history kind of stuff.
Well, that sounds really interesting. Uh, is Are there any words that you would like to mention to the youth today in regards to what the film brings, and giving them a message of what what to expect from them in the future?
Yeah, I'm really hopeful for the kids. They're waking up. They don't believe the trickle down economic theory. And to see them when their eyes open and see that a lot needs to be changed, not just with economics but also with climate. Um, and I think they're probably more passionate than the previous generations, maybe since the 60s. Um, so it gives me a lot of hope. And what would I tell them? I would tell them that organize, make change. You have power. You have the ability to make change. You can change the world with not that many people, and we all have to do it. And we have to support them. We can't just say the kids are going to do it. No, we have to help organize, and everyone has to stand up at this, and rise. It's time to rise.
Thank you very much, Sean, for those words, and talking about Americonned. Uh, and I hope that everybody that watches the film enjoys it as same as I did, and I imagine yourself as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.